Welcome to another unboxing video from theplayersaid.com. My name is Grant. Today I'm unboxing a new arrival from Nuts Publishing, Port Arthur. I'm going to go ahead and you can see this is a small game, but Port Arthur, so this has to do with the Russo-Japanese War at the beginning of the 20th century, 1900s. I think it was over in 1905 with the peace talks. But this is Japanese versus Russian. Obviously, you've got some naval power and also military. The game is designed by Yasushi Nakaguro and Maud Chamel. I don't know if that's a secondary designer or not. It's not really clear. This is volume 2 in the Combat Rations series. The first volume in this series was 300 Earth and Water a couple of years ago, maybe 2021 or 2022. Very cool little low complexity, simple, play in 45 minutes to an hour war game. And this is in that same mold. Great art, by the way, really evocative. You can see the Japanese commander there, and behind him are Japanese forces with their ships. I don't see any Russian flags. Maybe I'm missing them, but definitely there's the Japanese flag there. But Port Arthur, and this comes in a really small little box. 40 minutes is playtime. It's 2 players, 14 plus from Nuts. And it does have a unique feature. It has like a clamshell box. So you literally open it that way, and it has this magnetic strip that holds the box closed, so it doesn't open on its own, which is kind of nice, kind of a unique. Really enjoy the art. I was looking at this the other day when I opened it, got it out of the plastic. Obviously not necessary, but it's always good to see this kind of interior design on the box, and I'll show you some more of that. Very nice looking. Just gives you that feeling of theme. It evokes that theme, and that's very, very cool. So here, the first thing you see is these are meeples, and you can see there are 3 kind of Japanese commanders here with their swords held high, and then you've got 3 Japanese infantry. I was looking at this when I unboxed it the other day. I'm going to have to try to super glue that one. You can see there's a little bit of a break. So these are a little, they're not fragile. I'm not going to say they're fragile. Well, I just dropped it and maybe broke another one. No, it didn't break. Good. But yeah, you can see it's a cool little stylized meeple. You can see the bayonet there, the Japanese soldier's helmet, his feet. I think that's a really nice touch. And then let's get one of those Japanese commanders out with the sword, the katanas. Nice, you can see that. That's pretty cool. Pointing where he wants his men to go with the sword in the back, and he's got his cool little hat on as well. There are 6 of those, 3 of each. And that's what's going to mark where you are on the board. So that's kind of cool. There are 6 six-sided dice. They are tiny, nothing custom about them. They are just normal 6-siders. I did notice these. These are a couple of advertisements just for some of the other games that Nuts published, and specifically the war games here. Urban Operations, I know they have a new version coming out. Italian 1917, 1918. My gosh, that one's been on pre-order for probably 5 or 6 years. In fact, I feel like in my War Game Watch feature, that was one of the first games that I included or featured in that. Phantom Fury, that is a solo game. I think they have a new edition of that coming out. Alexander has an edition, but looking forward to getting that. And then Stalingrad Roads, which is a Hex Encounter war game. I have a copy and have unboxed it. Here's that game I was telling you about, 300 Earth and Water. Nineveh is a hidden block game. We unboxed that. We didn't get around to playing it this past year. Saigon 75 is fantastic. Card-driven game of the end of the Vietnam War. And then Port Arthur is the game that we are unboxing. Not going to talk about these because these are other style of games. You can see those there. But that's nice to throw those in there, kind of an advertisement. And then this is somewhat of a mini game. Called Orphan Hills. I'm not sure what it is focused on, but I will do a little research and look into it. Looks pretty simple. You use dice. Doesn't come with dice, but you do use dice. So we'll see how that goes. First thing we have here is the rule book. Fairly simple, like that it's a small rule book, fairly large text. There are some graphics like game setup showing you how to set the game up. The different counters we'll get a look at here in a moment. Nice looking rule book. It is, let's see how many pages. It is 16 pages with the Russo-Japanese War history and then a bibliography on the back to show you the reading that the designer did in designing this. So it looks fairly straightforward. There's an example of a naval battle. A lot of naval battles in this game. In fact, that's a majority of what there are troops, but I think a majority of it is naval battles, so that's going to kind of be fun. There are optional rules. There are mines. There are some additional ships that you're not going to use in the game itself. So there is some variability to the design, which is good. The next thing you see is a player aid. I noticed it only has one player aid. I hate it when they do that. It is a double-sided player aid. You can go ahead and make copies of this. It does give you the sequence of play here. Shows you how to do, I think these are battle resolution. And then here's that game set up again. And then just the different phases that were shown there on that sequence of play. Nothing overly complex. And there is a nice little player aid. Just wish there were two of those. There are two counter sheets. So these are half counter sheets. So it's basically equates to one. You can see the different units, the different naval units. Here are the Russian ships here on the left. They're this grayish color. They all have a dice value on them. And then a number in an explosion. I'm assuming that's their damage. These are markers for the different tracks. These are double-sided. And these values do decrease once they are hit. For instance, Rossia, the die result is a 5, and it has 2 health, I'm assuming. You turn it over on the back, it stays a 5, but it only has one health remaining. So yeah, those are nice looking big ships. So that's kind of cool. And then here are the Japanese ships. This is like a turn track. This pops out. I'll put that back in there. Not quite ready to get that all discombobulated at this point. But there's a look at the ships. Really nice counters. These are pre-rounded, double-sided, full-color counters. They look really nice. And then there you can see the names of all the Shikishima, Mikasa, Fuji, Hastuse, Yashima, Asahi. Yeah, cool. Nice looking counters there. And then the final component that we'll check out, and then I want to show you the art inside the box because I always think that kind of thing is very, very cool. This is a mounted map board, but it's small. This is not a big, it's single-sided. I was hoping there would be art on the back of it. But yeah, I love the colors. The blue and the different blues that make up the ocean spaces. And this is upside down. No, it's not. The names here are in Russia are pointing towards the Russian player who's going to sit over here. And then the Japanese player sits down here. So that's the way it is kind of laid out. No, you can read the names. I'm mistaken a little bit. Anyway, these are the land areas where your troops are going to move. So, for instance, these guys are going to land and move in there. Yeah, different. But I love the textured use of blues, and it just looks really, really good. The land itself is also very... I'm going to go ahead and pull that up so you can get a better, closer look at that. So you can see Fuji-sama right in the middle of Japan there, right in south central Japan, south of Tokyo. You can see some of the castles, the Shinto shrine there. If you didn't know, I lived in Japan for a couple of years. I was a missionary for my church. I actually lived in the Kansai area. So I lived in this area of Japan. Was very, very fun. Was there for 2 years. Really enjoyed it. But yeah, this is a great looking board. Really love the detail and the texture. I think that's really well done and will make for a very interesting game. Yeah, great looking game. Really looking forward to getting this one to the table because it is so, basically very well produced. And I'm sure we'll have great gameplay and everything else. Oh, I did want to show you this final, just an inside picture of a Japanese soldier with his wife. Here's some hashi or chopsticks, a medal, and then some Japanese coins. Just a really nice touch that adds to the, feel of the game and thematic immersion. Always a good thing. But there you have it, Port Arthur from Nuts Publishing. This is a review copy. They did provide this to us. We appreciate that. We will definitely get this one played, do a video, and share it with you. But looking forward to this. So there you have it. Great looking little game. Combat Rations Volume 2, Port Arthur from Nuts Publishing. Thanks for watching. I've been Grant from the Player's Aid.